week and a huge fight card here on Thursday night, live and exclusively on DAZN. Two press conferences for you today. Firstly, the madness of these guys, and then we flip to a World Championship triple header, which is absolutely breathtaking. I think it's one of the strongest cards, I was going to say of 2020, it definitely is, but even of last year as well. We're looking to kickstart a big year on DAZN, and we look forward to doing so with an exciting card on Thursday night. This world that we're living in now of YouTubers, sports stars, reality stars wanting to take part in big fights is an interesting one. Last November we saw a staggering event at the Staples Centre, KSI against Logan Paul. It was one of the biggest subscription drivers for DAZN, one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year on UK, on Sky Sports as well. And it's remarkable to see the level of interest and the eyeballs that come in and the new blood that's coming into the sport from fans watching these guys, their heroes, take part in the ring. For me, as a hardcore boxing fan, I think the most important thing is the respect that these guys give the sport. And you'll see a couple of great trainers up here. Firstly, in Vidal, who obviously got the big win with KSI, and also an absolute legend in Shane Mosley as well. These guys have put the work in. They've been up in Big Bear with Jake and AnEson in Vegas as well, putting the hard work in to try and win this fight. As long as they continue to respect the code of boxing, we're happy to welcome this new blood, this new age of fan into the sport. And we've seen that our subscriber numbers, the viewership numbers, who enjoyed the KSI Logan Paul fight, also enjoyed Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz too, who also enjoyed Jacobs against Chavez and other great content that DAZN have been putting out. So this is something that myself and Joe Markowski have taken a little bit of criticism for, but we're not short-sighted. We know there is a method behind this madness. We know that it's working, but at the same time, we know that we must respect the code of this great sport. And here you have two guys who have put the work in. I have no idea what's going to happen in this fight. In the KSI Logan Paul fight, I said many times, I think there's a few gifs floating around as well and memes, 10-ounce gloves, someone's getting knocked out. And it was 10-ounce gloves, no headgear, someone didn't get knocked out. Jake tells me this time that's not the case. And you said to me just then, I see in your eyes, you know I'm going to win. But I've got to say, there's something about you, young man. There is something about you. And I'm not sure yet, but I think you're a tough man. I think you're going to be tough to beat. But one thing I will say is, all the pressure is on you.
Fact.
All right? In this
Pressure
fight.
creates diamonds.
Okay.
Can we give it up for Eddie Hearn, by the way? Great guy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But we're going to hear from you guys shortly. I'll start with you. I think one of the great images of 2019 was you dropping to your knees when KSI got the victory at the Staples Centre. Big week, big moment for you guys. We know you're a pro fighter and that's where your future lies, but that was a big moment for the team to get that victory.
100%, you know, we're looking to repeat the same thing in a couple of days. It was a huge win, groundbreaking event. You know, we broke through a lot of doors with it and it was just great to come out on the winning side. So, looking to repeat the same in 2 days. We've never lost and I intend to keep that going.
Tell us about your charge in AnEson Gib. I've seen a little bit of footage. I would say unorthodox is a word that I might use as well.
Unorthodox.
But I've seen the improvements that he made from his first fight.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I turned on to that fight a couple of weeks ago, your first ever fight, and I was thinking, my God, this might be a little bit tricky. The second fight, the improvements you made, and watching you in your camp as well, improving as a fighter.
Definitely, you know, the thing with Gib is, as I said before in other interviews, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's the best boxer in the world because he isn't, but neither was Marcus Maidana, you know, and he beat boxers way superior than him. And I feel like I can compare Gib to him because he has that rough element and he provides something that I don't think people from his community should have. You know, he has more toughness than the average YouTube guy. And I feel like that's enough for him to be Jake, combined with pressure, combinations, the chin. You know, I've hit him hard myself on purpose just to test him and he's taking no shots. And I don't feel like, you know, Jake's going to be able to do much with him.
I think that most people going into the first fight would have said that Logan was perhaps technically more skilled than KSI. And again, the same here with Jake. But I just feel, and a lot in the first fight was about KSI's robustness, his toughness, his will to win. Is that what it's going to come down to here as well?
That's the thing, the way Gib fight, the way KSI fought Logan, Gib fights like that, but more refined because that's his style. JJ didn't show any of that in training. He just said, on the day I'm gonna battle, and he did, and he got the victory. Gib fights like that, and he's used to fighting like that, and that's why it's very dangerous for his opponent, Jake.
Thank you for that, Shane. Did you ever think that you would be in the corner of something like this, a moment like this, these new age of fans? I've seen you up in Big Bear.
Yeah,
This young man looks like he's put the work in.
He's definitely put the work in, and Jake is not only he didn't just come to me, just randomly like, oh Shane, will you train me? It was more, we're more friends than anything. So I've been knowing him for a couple of years now, and I wanted to train him and show him all the ropes of boxing, and he showed me that he could put in the work. He showed me that he really loved the sport of boxing and that he was taking it very seriously. And I'm very happy by the progress that Jake has done in Big Bear, and just the people he's worked with. They're impressed by him. Everybody's impressed by Jake and how he's taken to the boxing world.
Where do you lie on this whole scene? I mean, obviously you are one of the greatest fighters of all time. You have so much history in the sport. There is a lot of mixed feelings about these new age of celebrities, if you like, coming into the sport. They're bringing massive eyeballs to the sport of boxing. We saw that with the KSI Logan Paul fight. But obviously you see it from the inside. You see that these guys are putting the work in and do have the desire.
They definitely have the desire, and it's just like anybody that just comes off the street and wants to fight. And I'm not going to train you if you're not putting 100% in, mentally, physically, all the way around. I'm very impressed by Jake, by his athletic ability, by his mentality, how he approaches the fight. It's like he's working harder than a lot of professional fighters that I know that come up there and work with him. He's actually outworking them. So he's definitely put the work in. He looks very good. He's strong, he's fast. I mean, he's ready to go.
I guess a lot of this is down to world champions going through the ropes, and ultimately all the work that goes in is going to come down to Thursday night. People talk about Gib has to out tough Jake Paul. Do you see that toughness from him inspiring? Do you think that he's got the cojones to mix it in there?
Oh, of course. I mean, he's been there with tough guys. I put him to the test. I didn't make it easy for Jake. He has a different mentality, and he doesn't quit. It doesn't matter how hard he's been hit. He's been hit by some of the hardest fighters in the sport at 154, and he didn't quit up in Big Bear. So he's strong. He's ready to go. And what I have to say about the whole YouTube thing, boxing thing. It's entertainment. Boxing is entertainment, and this is a form of entertainment. And he's bringing a lot of new fans and followers to the sport of boxing, both guys. And I'm happy for it. I'm happy for the sport, because now it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow.
Thank you, Shane. AnEson, you crazy mofo.
Oh, lad.
Right? You ready? You ready for this? This is a big moment for your career, your life, whatever it is. I remember we was at the KSI Logan Paul press conference in London. Yeah. People were throwing all sorts at the stage, and then all of a sudden I see this little man trying to jump up on the stage.
Keyword little.
And I was like, who's that? They said it's Gib. So I thought I'm going to go and get him up there. You two came face to face, and now it's on.
It's on.
Miami, Thursday night, the world's watching. You're going to get in there and fight this man. You ready?
The training camp's done. I've been tested, pushed to my limits, but I'm ready to go to war Thursday.
And obviously this experience for you, you have boxed before. We know you're 2-0 as a fighter. This is your first pro fight.
Yes, sir.
How do you see this fight going? Are you aware of people saying that he may be technically better than you?
I think that's his aim to go for the technical approach, but when you see me fight, I'm on the roughhouse shit. It's going to be aggressive, relentless, and I think he knows what's coming.
I think what we saw with Logan Paul and KSI was just that two guys going into an arena who were out of their comfort zone. And once the bell went, everything kind of went out the window, and it was just about who wants it more, who's tougher, who's prepared to hang in there the most. Do you need to take him to the well on Thursday night? Do you need to take him to a bad place? Do you think he has quit in him?
I think he's tried to select his opponents before, and this wasn't his ideal scenario for an occasion. I think he's been dreaming for bigger fights and even picking smaller opponents. So when he comes to fight me, it's definitely going to be a rough night.
When we talk about the build-up to this fight, a lot of the build-up and the sort of point scoring is not about someone who's trained harder or who might be in better shape. It's more about the views and the numbers. And you've been very critical of Jake in that respect, saying that he's done, he's finished. For you, what does this moment mean for you as a YouTuber? Because Jake is a big name, he does have a huge following, but you've kind of come on the blind side here and could become a little bit of a sensation overnight.
Of course, getting this was like, I finessed my way into it. I got it without his choice or being, but when it comes to, wait, repeat the question again, sorry, I forgot.
Basically, do you think that he's finished?
There's the risk to
Tell
reward.
me about Jake Paul.
You hear that laughter? That's what you're gonna hear on the night. You hear that laughter? That's what you're gonna hear on the night.
I can't hear what you're
Tell me
saying.
about Jake Paul in a YouTube world. Where is he at right
Right now, he is in a dangerous place. The risk for him is incredibly high for this fight. For me, I've got nothing to lose. Right now, I've gone in, I've trained as hard as I can, but Jake is definitely in trouble if he doesn't secure the win.
How bad do you want to get?
How bad do I want it? I want to fucking really bad. That's why I train as hard as I can in Vegas.
Jake, are you done? Are you finished in this YouTube world? I mean, what are you here as? Are you a YouTuber? Are you a fighter?
Yeah, no. So I mean, I'm an entrepreneur at the end of the day. When people talk to me about like views and stuff, I've been off the YouTube wave. But I have a baker's dozen influencers in the space that I take a percentage of. My merchandising company fulfills over 100 people's merchandise, some of the biggest influencers in the game. To me, I kind of just can do what I want. And that's why I think, is what he doesn't understand is why I'm so dangerous in the ring is because I'm choosing to do this. It's something I'm passionate about. And I've caught the boxing bug. And I've been in training camp for the past 5 months, 2-a-days, nonstop. And there's a lot of course, there's a lot of pressure, like Jake Paul has everything to lose, but like I'm a game time player. And I've been in this situation before with Deji. Imagine if Deji would have beat me. I've been in this exact same position before, except the difference is I think that Deji is faster, a better athlete, and a better boxer than Gib. And when Vidal says, earlier he says, I haven't lost as a coach, that's false because you actually did train Deji as well for a period of 2 months before he switched over, but you did train him for the start of his boxing career. So, there's a lot of lies being told from their side. I'm a game time player. Pressure creates diamonds. And tomorrow, or 2 days from now, you will see the work that I put in.
I think from a British perspective, and what we're really asking is, yes, you're an entrepreneur, yes, you've got some percentages from other YouTubers, yes, you've been around a long time, you have a huge following, but how big are your bollocks? That's the question we want to know, because we don't want to see it now, but I've just got a feeling, this guy's going to be, like, how much do you want it, Jake?
So, I wrote a book called You Gotta Want It. It was an Amazon Times bestseller. I have a tattoo right here that says You Gotta Want It. I live my life by that motto. And I actually wanted to be a Navy SEAL before I moved to LA to pursue acting and stuff. And so that mentality, that killer mentality, the only easy day was yesterday. I want it more than anyone in this room combined. There is nothing that this guy can do mentally, like he's talking about going to war. We can chop it up any single way, but the outcome will remain the same, and that is me winning.
By knockout?
I will see how much heart he has. I think a lot of all I keep on hearing is there's something about this kid, or he's tough, or he's crazy. So, we'll see how far that takes him. I think it's only going 3 rounds. That my coach here thinks that as well. But I do see the heart he has. But I just this is boxing. This isn't. We're not measuring hearts here. So. And I would go as far as to say that I have a bigger heart and I have more on the line. So I'm fighting in that ring with more on my back, and that to me is exciting.
You've mentioned this isn't a one-off for you. It's something that you want to focus on and have more pro fights in. Is the the plan straight up, beat Gib and then fight KSI? Is that what you want?
100%. That's what I mean by like this means so much to me. Is I'm here to avenge like the family name, the Paul name, and after I beat Gib, to me he's a stepping stone, and then I'm going for KSI, and from there who knows where the sport takes me, but I love it and it's fun and I'm good at it. You know, I wouldn't just do something just to fucking do it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to the trainers. Jake Paul against AnEson Gib this Thursday live on DAZN across America. Do not miss it. Last time out, we had a great undercard and we had KSI Logan Paul. That ended up being the most entertaining fight of the night. I think you're going to see the same kind of thing here. No one knows what is going to happen in this fight. I haven't got a clue, but I know it's going to be a lot of fun. Do not miss it. We're going to pose both guys and their teams here now, and they'll be ready to see you at the weigh-in tomorrow, and we will enter our second press conference shortly. Thank you. One to the front, guys, please. Get a video and Shane in as well. Not head to head, don't worry about that, just face in the front, please. To the cameras, please.
This way,
Thanks guys, thank you.
Go face to face.